Word up. All right. Now, this is a story that's been developing over the past couple of weeks that I have not touched yet. Okay. This is a very tragic story that is connected to a Gen Z pop star. Pop star, he was on the rise. My man, David. I don't want to say my man, but his name is David. D4VD. If you haven't heard of him, you're going to learn a little bit about him now. And a tragic series of events that people are still trying to figure out. The police are trying to figure out. Shout out to Billboard. They did a timeline of David's fairly brief career. I mean, this guy is on the rise. And then there's another story here because for the first time, we have a police source that's spoken about this situation. All right, so after breaking through as a Gen Z pop singer, David has been making headlines in relation to a tragedy over the past few weeks. The artist, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, rose to fame as a genre-blending musician after pivoting away from YouTube content creation. Up until last week, he was in the throes of a massive world tour. Now those tour dates have been canceled following an early September discovery of a deceased teenage girl in a car registered to the singer. Now this, when I say it was a crazy story, this is a crazy story. There was a car, a Tesla, and in the back were the remains of a deceased person. They've gone through forensics and now they have more information. But this is nuts. It's grotesque. It's shocking. Sounds evil. It sounds evil. Just like take away the person, put this in a movie. It would not be a happy movie. It would be evil. You know what I'm saying? So here's more. On September 8th, a decomposed body was found in the singer's impounded Tesla. Authorities identified the decomposed remains, which were discovered in the Tesla trunk while the car was in a Los Angeles tow lot, using forensics, and determined that the body belonged to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, 15 years old. Okay, David's 20, 15 years old. Another stereotypically evil connection. According to NBC News, the teen had been reported as missing and was last seen in April 2024, and her death is being investigated as a homicide. Following the identification of the body, the internet exploded with speculative detective work, drawing connections between Rivas and David and linking the singer to the case. Now, that's another thing that's been happening. It's not going to show up in the articles that I'm showing you guys now. But the internet detectives have been all over this. Reddit has pulled up different live streams with David and Rivas on there at the same time. David has a big hit. One of his biggest songs is called Romantic Homicide. He made it 2 years ago. There's more details around that coming up later. And they have been able to peg her to him for a long time. For a while now, okay? And there's other things that I've heard that are out there that I can't verify, allegedly, but this is part of what those independent detectives have been saying. One is that he has been dating her since she was 12 or 13. That's a rumor. I'm not sure if that's a rumor, if it's alleged. I haven't seen it verified in anything particular. If that's the case, that's
tomato.
Okay, there's another rumor out there or reporting that's coming from these online detectives that say that he was actually paying her parents. Now, I have no verification of that either. But with a case like this, you can imagine the number of different stories that are going to come around. And the online detectives have been vigilant on this. Okay, but this story is
tomato.
All right, so we'll continue. The singer's rep previously said in a statement that David is fully cooperating with authorities and no charges have been brought against the 20-year-old. He canceled the remaining dates of his world tour last week. As the heartbreaking story develops, here's everything you need to know about David's career and how the pop singer enjoyed a meteoric rise prior to tragic events in recent weeks. In 2021, David transitions from video game live streams to making music. David got his start in the early 2020s while live streaming video games and in interviews credited Fortnite with exposing him to the neighborhood, Arctic Monkeys, and other alternative artists. Prior to that, David said he's strictly listening to gospel music growing up. Strictly listening to gospel music. After some time on Fortnite, he made his first songs under the David moniker titled Runaway and You and I. He used the latter song for gameplay montage and noticed that people started taking it and using it in their own montages. I was like, okay, this could be something. So I kept making songs, David told V-Man in 2022. So look at that. 3 years. 3 years. 2002, David drops his viral hit Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. David released 2 singles in 2022 to get fans ready for his debut EP, Petals to Thorns. The first single was Romantic Homicide, which dropped in July 2022 and went TikTok viral, eventually peaking at number 33 on Billboard Hot 100. The second single was Here With Me, which also went viral online and hit number 60 on the chart. The song's success led David to being contacted by Darkroom and Interscope Records, leading him to signing with the label in September 2022. So he signs to Interscope in September 2022, right? And he has a big hit. His most popular song is called Romantic Homicide. Romantic Homicide. It's a dark song. It's a dark song, okay? And based on online investigators, and now we'll get to this in a second, but from this police report, it looks like that Celeste and David were together. So he made this song 3 years ago. Crazy story all the way around. 2023, David drops his EPs, Petals to Thorns and Lost Petals. David then officially made his recording debut with the release of his EP, Petals to Thorns, in May 2023. The EP became David's first entry on the Billboard 200, peaking at number 105. After the success of Petals to Thorns, David closed out the year with Lost Petals EP that September, adding to the buzz surrounding the young artist. February 2023, this was a big moment for him too. David becomes opener on SZA's SOS tour. David was announced as one of the openers on SZA's blockbuster SOS tour, which kicked off in February 2023. David was one of 3 openers, joining Omar, Apollo, and Ray. I'm SZA's biggest fan, he said. I'm super grateful to her, David told Rolling Stone at the time. When I got the news, I was locked in for the tour. I was in a recording session and I jumped up, threw my headphones, and just was going crazy. 2024, David issued a variety of singles throughout 2024. He dropped Leave Her in 2016 in February and Feel It, which appeared on the soundtrack for the Amazon Prime Video TV series Invincible. David's getting a lot of big looks. He's on tour with SZA. He has multiple charting singles. He has a charting EP. He's on Amazon Prime Video TV series Invincible. David is making moves. In July, David returned again with There Goes My Baby, and in November, he released Remember Me, which was featured on the Arcane soundtrack. Before the year was out, David returned once more with the single Where'd It Go Wrong? In 2025, after dropping another smattering of singles in early 2025, David officially released his debut album, Withered, in April. David also went viral that month after attempting a backflip during his Coachella performance and face-planting on stage. The singer laughed off the tumble, then announced the Withered World Tour dates days later. The tour kicked off on August 5th in Del Mar, California. All right, so after that, September 8th, body discovered in the car was registered to David. All right, now here's the update. That's where David is. You guys understand who David is now. So here's the update. It's an exclusive from People. They actually talked to the police, so we get an update on where this case is currently. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was likely dead for several weeks before being found in David's Tesla trunk, police say. The musician has not been named a suspect or charged, and his representatives have stated that he is fully cooperating with the investigation. So that's the update. Let's take a look at the details of this. Need to know, the Los Angeles Police Department believes that the body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the 14-year-old girl who was found dead inside of a car belonging to musician David, had been there for several weeks. LAPD Captain and Commanding Officer Scott M. Williams told People that he could not confirm if the musician was cooperating with the investigation. As far as I know, this is the first time someone from law enforcement has gone on record with this story. So this is a big break. David has not been named as a suspect or charged, and his representative has stated that he is fully cooperating with the investigation. All right. Rivas Hernandez was found dead in an impounded Tesla registered to David on September 8th, while David, real name David Burke, was on tour in the U.S. Here's the story. The Los Angeles Police Department believes that the body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the 14-year-old girl who was found dead inside a Tesla belonging to musician David, has been in the car for several weeks before it was discovered. Speaking with People, LAPD Captain and Commanding Officer Scott M. Williams said that while many questions remain about the death of Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found inside the car in a Los Angeles parking lot on September 8th, we know for sure that Celeste Rivas Hernandez died and someone placed her body in the front trunk area of David Burke's Tesla. We know that the Tesla had been parked on that location from which it was towed for several weeks, so it's very likely Celeste Rivas Hernandez had been dead several weeks prior to her body being discovered. All right, so the car was parked for several weeks, and they're now on record saying it's likely that she had been dead several weeks prior. Okay. That is wild, which would mean, if we were reading this right, wherever the murder happened or the death happened, they had her someplace for weeks, then put her in the car and left the car there for weeks, and then homie went on tour. Not saying he did it, it's his car, but he then goes on tour. Crazy. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has not determined a cause or manner of her death, so we don't know for sure if anyone has any criminal culpability for her death beyond the concealment of her dead body. The captain added, sharing that the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division is still probing the case. So they don't know how she died yet. Here's a picture of Celeste. Wow. Williams also confirmed that the LAPD did serve a search warrant at a residence near where the car was towed. A landlord previously told SF Gate that David, 20, had been staying at an LA property with his manager, but that the two moved out days after electronics and more were seized from the home, per the outlet. Williams told police that he cannot confirm what was taken from the property. Additionally, speculation has circulated online about the possibility of a relationship between Rivas Hernandez and the romantic homicide singer, as a teen seemingly had a matching shh tattoo on her right index finger, the Los Angeles Times reported, citing the medical examiner alleging similar to the one on David. But Williams said, as far as their relationship, it would be premature for me to say anything. So the police aren't saying anything on record yet. We are looking into everything, the captain told People. LAPD would not confirm that David was cooperating with the investigation, despite his rep previously telling NBC Los Angeles that he was fully cooperating with authorities. David has not been named as a suspect or charged with a crime in relation to the case. His representative has not responded to multiple requests for comment from People. And here's David. So this is a big update. We have the police on record now talking about this. And this is just a tragic story all the way around. We'll see what happens with this. I don't want to speculate either way. I'm far away from this story. Personally, I've heard of David. I've heard a couple of songs from David. I wouldn't necessarily say I was a David fan. But thinking about this from a timeline standpoint. So in 2002, he releases Romantic Homicide. And in 2005, there's a dead girl found in the trunk of his Tesla. We're not going to see too many stories like this, I hope, ever in life, particularly with what's happening in music. We send our sincerest condolences to Celeste Hernandez and her family. This is an unimaginable tragedy, and we're sending positive energy your way. Let me know what you guys think about this story. I'll keep you updated with further developments. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything, including The Company Man podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views us radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping them. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.